Alone at home for 10 years, she discovered an incredible voice that changed her life forever. In the quiet, sleepy town of Maplewood, Jenna felt like a ghost. Alone in her house for what felt like a decade, she wandered through empty rooms echoing with memories of a father who left and a mother always buried in work. Jenna was invisible. The kind of invisible that makes you feel like a shadow in your own home, with no one to see or hear you. Days drifted into nights, and loneliness wrapped around her like a thick fog. But one afternoon, everything changed. As Jenna sorted through the dusty old attic at the community center where she volunteered, she stumbled upon an ancient karaoke machine hidden under a pile of forgotten things. The machine seemed to whisper promises of discovery, filling her heart with a flicker of hope. It felt like a calling. After checking the coast was clear, Jenna pressed the button. The machine crackled to life, and before she knew it, she was singing not just notes, but pouring out everything she had kept bottled up inside for too long. Her powerful voice echoed, shattering her solitude. She practiced for hours, her soul untangling with every melody. One nervous afternoon, she shared a video of her singing online. The moment it went live, her heart raced. And then it happened. The video went viral. Comments flooded her notifications. People poured their hearts out, touched by her voice, her story. But with the joy came a chilling fear. What if they saw her? What if her mother, who believed in staying grounded and avoiding big dreams, found out? What if everyone's eyes turned her back into the girl who was always seen but never truly recognized? The summer fair approached, filling the air with excitement and dread. Families gathered, laughter danced in the night, and for the first time, Jenna pictured herself under the stars, singing. But that dream was shattered when a popular local influencer publicly mocked her. What does she think will happen? Some karaoke star from Maplewood? Jenna's heart sank. Old insecurities reared their ugly heads. Was she just a worthless girl with no future? As the days passed, Jenna began to notice others battling their own shadows, mothers working 2 jobs, kids whose voices were never heard. Stories emerged, echoing her own struggles. Friends rallying around her reminded her she wasn't alone. They shared tales of resilience, igniting a flame inside her. She realized that her journey was not just about the fear of stepping into the light, but about challenging the expectations that kept so many voices silent. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. With the fair night inching closer, Jenna felt a surge of determination. She envisioned this stage as her battleground, a place to stand tall and reclaim her narrative. As she approached the microphone, its cool metal beckoned her forward. All the pain of her past and the glitter of her dreams fought for space in her heart. Could she rise? Could she sing not just for herself, but for everyone like her who felt unheard and unseen? The crowd held its breath, waiting. Jenna stood at the edge of her destiny, the stage lights blazing, ready to confront not just her fears, but the truth of who she was becoming. Would she embrace the incredible voice that longed to be heard, or retreat into the shadows once again? The choice sat heavy in the air as the night began to blossom around her. Jenna's heart raced. As she stood before the microphone, the weight of her hopes and fears pressed down like a heavy blanket. Would they laugh? Would they turn away? The thought sent a chill through her, but the faces of her friends flickered in her mind, a rush of smiles and encouragement, reminding her she wasn't just singing for herself. The first notes of the song whispered through her lips, shaky but ready. The crowd's chatter hushed, replaced by the soft pulse of anticipation. With each word, Jenna dug deeper into her emotions. Power surged through her voice, filling the air with a raw, heartfelt sound. She could see people leaning in, eyes wide, some even crying. It was that moment, she felt, where a small flicker of hope began to ignite a flame. Swaying with the music, Jenna poured every ounce of herself into the performance. She sang about loneliness, dreams, and the weight of expectations. Each chorus felt like a declaration of independence, a bold refusal to remain silent. The initial fear washed away, replaced by an exhilarating wave of freedom. Unbeknownst to her, the crowd was catching on. Fellow Maplewood residents, weary from their own struggles, heard her truth and felt a connection. They began to cheer, louder than the last, urging her on. "You go, girl!" Someone shouted, a cheerful voice cutting through the air like a lifeline. Jenna's spirit soared with every encouraging shout. She finished the song, her heart pounding, a warm rush of adrenaline pulsing through her veins. The silence that followed felt like a small eternity, until finally, the crowd erupted into applause and cheers. The sound washed over her, wrapping her in a cozy embrace of acceptance. This wasn't just about her anymore. It was about breaking down walls for everyone who felt just as she had small, forgotten. She blinked through tears, laughing at the sheer joy surging inside her. In that moment, surrounded by strangers who believed in her voice, Jenna felt seen for the first time in a long time. As the applause settled, someone stepped forward from the crowd. It was a familiar face, Lynn, her childhood friend who had always cheered her on. "You were amazing!" Lynn exclaimed, eyes shining. "You have to keep going. You have a real gift." "I don't know, Lynn." Jenna hesitated, uncertainty creeping back in. What did it mean to have a gift? Was it just a fluke? She remembered the influencer's mocking words. What if this was a one-time thing? But before she could entertain the doubt, another voice erupted from the crowd. "You need to share this with more people. You're going to inspire others." Her heart swelled at the thought of using her voice for something greater. Maybe it wasn't just about the singing at the fair. It could become a beacon for those still trapped in the shadows, just like she once was. That night, as Jenna stepped down from the stage, she could barely breathe, but it was not from exertion. It was an intoxicating mix of fear and exhilaration. She felt lighter, unburdened by thoughts of how others would perceive her. But with the support came a new set of questions. What path would she take now? Was she ready for what came next? Jenna held onto the karaoke machine as spark. It had saved her once. Could it help her grow into something even bigger? This was just the beginning, and as she stepped into the night filled with stars, she knew this was her moment of choice. Each step forward felt like a leap into an unknown world where her voice might just change everything. But would she have the courage to step beyond this newfound acceptance and chase the dreams lurking just out of sight? The thrill of possibilities buzzed in the air around her as she walked away from the fair, leaving behind her past. The real journey was about to begin. Jenna walked away from the fair, her heart full but her mind swirling. The applause echoed in her ears, but now she faced the reality outside the stage. What would happen next? The stars twinkled brightly above, but they didn't ease the tightness in her chest. She could feel the weight of expectation resting on her shoulders. "What do I do now?" she whispered to herself. Maybe it was all just a fluke, a flash of light in an otherwise dim existence. Was she ready for the next step? As she passed the familiar streets of Maplewood, a flurry of vivid memories washed over her. The old diner where she spent countless hours dreaming about singing on a stage, the library where she pored over books with stories of fame and passion. Would it always be just dreams? Or could it be more? She decided to navigate to Lynn's place. It was late, but they had always shared everything, her fears, her secrets. Lynn was the kind of friend who knew how to pull Jenna's hidden truth into the open. When she arrived, the porch light washed over her, illuminating the cautious excitement on her face. She knocked softly. The door swung open, revealing Lynn's warm grin.
"You found me!"
she exclaimed, pulling Jenna into an embrace that felt like armor against uncertainty.
"Can we talk?"
Jenna asked, unsure how to voice her tumult of emotions. "Always." Lynn stepped back, allowing Jenna to enter before closing the door behind them. The lighting was soft, casting a warm glow that felt safe. They settled on the couch, mugs of hot cocoa in hand. Julie's pulse raced as she took a breath to speak. Today was she paused, searching for the words. It was like I finally felt alive.
But now, I'm scared.
What if it's not enough? Jenna, you sang from your soul. Lynn exclaimed, eyes lighting up with passion. People felt you out there. You have something special. You can't ignore that. But what if I fail? Jenna's voice wavered as she spoke the words out loud. Failing had always been a shadow lurking behind her, and now it roared louder than ever. Failure is just part of the journey. Think of how many times you've faced it already, and look where you are. Lynn leaned forward, her sincerity striking. What if you inspire someone else? Think about all the people out there who could benefit from your voice. Jenna stirred her drink, mulling over Lynn's words. Perhaps she could turn her fragility into strength. Yet, doubt gnawed at her. I don't even know where to begin. What if I put myself out there, and it just crumbles? Then you rebuild, Lynn said firmly. Your journey starts with one small step. You could perform again, maybe post videos online, reach more people. Whatever it takes, Jenna. You have to chase this. The warmth of her friend's encouragement sparked a small flame in Jenna's heart. She glanced around the cozy room more than four walls. It was a fortress of support. But just as hope flickered brighter, a churning cloud of fear settled in. What if the cheers turned to silence again? Okay. She breathed out carefully. But what if I make a fool of myself? What if no one cares? Jenna, they will care. Just take that step, and focus on the joy of sharing your voice, not the fear of failure. You are more than capable. With each word, a realization began to wash over her. She didn't have to be perfect. She just needed to be herself. Maybe I can start small, Jenna nodded slowly, imagining possibilities beginning to bloom like the first buds of spring. Unseen beneath the surface of her thoughts were the seeds of courage, seeds that could blossom into something powerful. But the thrill of that thought was tempered by a lingering anxiety. What if she tried and met with rejection? She took a deep breath, her mugs clunking softly on the coffee table as determination grew. Let us do this. I'll share my music. As Lynn cheered, encouragement sparkling in her eyes, Jenna felt cracks forming in the walls that had long held her back. They were small but real. Just remember, I'll be here every step of the way. That promise, warming Jenna's heart, set the wheels of change in motion.
Yet,
with every step forward came the dread of the unknown and the haunting question, had she truly found her voice, or was she still searching for it just beneath layers of self-doubt? The journey ahead was daunting, but it was time to dive deeper. Would she embrace the terrifying thrill of stepping into the spotlight, or would her lingering fears push her back into the shadows? Jenna woke up the next morning with a mixture of excitement and dread swirling in her stomach.
today was the day.
She had barely slept, her mind racing with thoughts of performing again. Would it feel the same as that moment on stage at the fair? Or would the silence of the internet be deafening? She dragged herself out of bed, the chill of the morning air biting at her skin. After a shower, the steam wrapped around her like a comforting blanket. Standing in front of the mirror, she gave her reflection an encouraging smile. Today, she would start posting her songs online, little snippets of her voice that had been bottled up for too long. With her phone in hand, Jenna went to her room. It was cluttered, the walls adorned with posters of singers who had once inspired her. She paced back and forth, glancing at the camera on her desk, the lens staring back at her like a portal to another world. Just one video, she muttered to herself, heart racing as the reality of what she was about to do set in. She plopped onto her bed, scrolling through her saved recordings. Each song held a memory, yesterday's fears, hidden laughter, fragments of dreams. Choosing Love on the Line, a tender ballad she had written months ago, felt right. It spoke to her heart. The lyrics were raw and real, steeped in the truth of vulnerability. Taking a deep breath, she turned on the camera and hit record. The familiar tune filled the room, and as she started to sing, the walls seemed to melt away. With each note, a wave of warmth surrounded her, replacing her doubts with a surge of passion. The music poured from her, flowing effortlessly as she lost herself in the melody. When the last note hung in the air, silence enveloped her. Jenna stopped recording, hands trembling. What did I just do? A mix of pride and panic washed over her. Conflicting thoughts battled in her head. Did she really share a piece of herself with the world? She pressed the preview button, cringing as she heard her own voice again, vulnerable yet powerful, echoing through the room. It's just a start, she reminded herself, her heart beating a little faster. It was a small step, but it was hers. After a moment's hesitation, Jenna uploaded the video with trembling fingers, a caption reading, "Just a piece of my heart for whoever wants to hear." She chose to leave message notifications on, but her mind was consumed with thoughts of judgment. What would people say? Would they share in her joy or treat her dreams with ambivalence? As she put her phone down, she couldn't shake the gnawing in her gut. Would anyone even listen? Moments felt like hours, but soon, a cheerful ding broke the silence. She snatched her phone, eyes widening as she saw her friends and family had liked the post, flooding the comments with love and support. Even Lynn chimed in. "You are brilliant. Can't believe you waited so long." Tears welled in Jenna's eyes. They mixed joy with disbelief. For the first time, people validated her passion. But a smooth layer of excitement was edged with anxiety. Was this just the beginning of something magnificent, or would it fall flat? 5 minutes later, her notifications began rolling in like a wave, mentioning likes from people she didn't even know. Curiosity snapped through her like a bolt of lightning. Each ping sent her pulse racing until she finally couldn't resist. She opened one comment that read, "Your voice is incredible. Keep sharing." That small gesture from a stranger wrapped around her like a warm hug. Jenna's heart soared. Could she believe this was happening? Yet, deep down, uncertainty lingered, a whisper reminding her how quickly happiness could unravel. What if it isn't enough? She thought as she opened her window, breathing in the crisp air. The sky was limitless, and so were her hopes. But just when she thought she was gaining confidence, a shadow of doubt crept in again. What if the attention turned negative? Lost in her thoughts, Jenna didn't notice the door creak open. Lynn tiptoed in, grinning with a cheeky look on her face. "Did I just hear a superstar warming up?" Jenna laughed, feeling relief wash over her. "I hope so. I think I might actually like sharing my music. But what if people don't like it? What if this is just another flash in the pan? What if you glow?" Lynn replied, her tone light yet weighty with understanding. "Let us tear down those fears one note at a time." Excitement mixed with unease. Jenna knew her journey had just begun. The cheers might swell loudly, but silence could come crashing down just as easily. She had to remain strong, whether her voice echoed through the walls or faded into the distance. The thought of taking another leap flared in her heart, but it was a leap toward what? Was it fame or fulfillment? The spotlight glimmered ahead, yet so did the shadows. But she wouldn't let fear hold her back. One step at a time, she murmured, steeling herself for what lay ahead. Would her desire for acceptance lead to true fulfillment, or would the lights fade too soon for her budding dreams? As the evening draped its blanket of twilight over the town, Jenna sat cross-legged on her bed, her phone poised in her trembling hands. The initial rush of excitement from her post was beginning to settle into a steady thrum of nervous energy. Each notification that buzzed to life felt like a drumbeat in her chest. The unexpected warmth of compliments was intoxicating, but shadows of doubt still lingered at the edges of her mind. "What's next?" she whispered to the room. It was a question hanging in the air, like an unanswered prayer. This wasn't just about sharing her music anymore. It was so much bigger. The thought made her stomach flutter with both anxiety and eagerness. With one bold action, she had cracked open the door to her dreams, and the world beyond was calling her. "Let us do this," she exclaimed, resolving to continue the momentum. "Let us go live." Lynn clapped her hands and bounced onto the bed beside her. "Yes, go live. Show everyone the real you. It's the perfect way to connect." Sweat trickled down Jenna's back at the idea. A live performance? It felt daunting, like standing on the ledge of a cliff, ready to jump. But what if I mess up? Lynn nudged her playfully. But what if you blow them away? The encouragement was unmistakable, yet Jenna still felt that flicker of uncertainty creeping up her spine. Taking a deep breath, Jenna opened the app. Her heart raced as she set up for the live stream. She fiddled with the camera angles, adjusting the lighting, trying to make everything just right. But deep down, she knew it wouldn't matter how perfect everything looked. What mattered was the music. I can handle it, she muttered to herself. The small phrase felt more like a mantra, a way to quiet the anxious chatter in her mind. When the button turned red, signaling she was live, Jenna felt herself freeze momentarily. Her reflection in the screen stared back, mirroring the mix of excitement and apprehension bubbling inside her. Taking another deep breath, she flashed a tentative smile and began to play her guitar. As the first notes flowed freely, the initial fear started to melt away. She lost herself in the familiar rhythm of love on the line, every chord grounding her, wrapping her in the soothing embrace of song. The chat stream filled with hearts and encouraging comments as viewers checked in, making her feel as though the anxious weight was lifting off her shoulders. Love your voice. You're amazing. So talented. Each message sparked a glow of warmth inside her. She sang with intent, pouring her heart into the words, letting every syllable resonate in the space between her and the growing audience. The rush of sharing her music live was exhilarating. It was as if she were inviting everyone into her world, letting them glimpse her deepest feelings. But then, out of nowhere, a critical comment flew past her screen. This is boring. Jenna's heart dropped like a stone. Momentarily thrown off balance, her fingers faltered on the strings. What if they really don't like me? The voice of doubts roared louder than the music. Shake it off, Lynn mouthed from the side, her expression of pure confidence shining through the worried cloud overhead. They don't matter. You matter. Taking a deep breath, Jenna focused on the love pouring in rather than the scattered negativity. Within moments, she found her rhythm again, belting out the next verse with renewed vigor. She wasn't here for anyone else's approval. She was here for her love of music. As she finished the song, the chat exploded with enthusiasm, comments flying in faster than she could read. You are incredible. That was beautiful. Eyes glistening, Jenna realized the importance of her choice to share her art. It brought connection and understanding while soothing her nerves. And just like that, in the warmth of the spotlight, she realized something profound. The music was not just about her. It was about the bonds it created and the hearts it touched. She held it all with tenderness, the joy of this revelation igniting new strength within her. Thank you for listening, everyone, Jenna said, her voice brimming with genuine gratitude. I'll keep sharing for all of you. What she didn't see were the notifications on her phone. The ones that would change everything, setting the stage for a twist in her journey. And as she closed her phone, a feeling of determination surged. This wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a new chapter. But what revelation awaited her next? Jenna could hardly sleep that night. The buzz of her live performance still tingled in her fingertips. She lay wide-eyed under the soft glow of fairy lights strung across her room, thinking about all the comments scrolling through her mind like a constant stream. But amidst the noise, there was one nagging thought. What now? The next morning brought a muted sunlight as she sipped coffee, her thoughts swirling. She opened up her social media to check on the aftermath of her live session. Her heart raced, anticipation making her fingers tremble as she scrolled through her notifications. The number of views dropped her jaw. So many people had tuned in. But those previous compliments felt a world away. Instead, a handful of more critical comments floated through her mind. She shook her head. Why was she letting that one negative review linger? Taking a deep breath, she gently chastised herself. Focus on the love, she muttered, recalling Lynn's encouraging words. With a tap, she switched to her messages. Being with Lynn always felt like a warm hug, but something felt different today. Jenna hesitated, staring at the little icon indicating Lynn was available. Taking a leap, she sent a voice note. Hey, Lynn.
Can we talk later?
I think I need some advice or something.
Just I don't know.
The weight of uncertainty was pressing down, but Jenna was determined not to let it bury her. After a few hours, the doorbell rang, breaking her from her thoughts. It was Lynn, beaming with energy, practically bouncing on her feet.
Surprise.
I figured you could use a bit of company. Jenna grinned, feeling a rush of warmth. You always manage to make me feel better. The two sprawled on the living room floor, leaning against an array of colorful throw pillows. Okay, spill it. I can feel the brainwaves of worry from here. Jenna hesitated, wrestling with her emotions. I thought going live would be empowering, and it was, but I just can't shake off that one rude comment. It feels like I took 2 steps forward and then crash. Lynn gave a compassionate nod. That feeling's valid, but it's time to make a choice. Are you going to let one person's opinion drown out a chorus of love? Her friend's words ignited a fire inside Jenna. She reflected on the people who sent her heart emojis and cheered her on, how they made her feel so alive. I'd rather focus on the connections, she realized aloud. Exactly. So, what's next for our music queen? Lynn asked, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Maybe we should plan another live session? Jenna instinctively reached for her guitar, the thought sparking excitement within her.
Yes.
Let us make it even bigger. You could do a theme night like originals versus covers. And we can get your friends to promote it too. Lynn's enthusiasm was infectious. Just as the atmosphere began to light up with renewed possibilities, the sound of Jenna's phone chiming filled the room again. She looked at the screen, and her breath caught. A direct message with an account she didn't recognize flashed across her screen. I saw your performance last night. I loved it. Can we chat? Heart pounding, Jenna glanced up at Lynn, whose eyebrows raised in curiosity.
Who is it?
I don't know, but this feels different. The thought of an opportunity pushed all doubts aside, but excitement and nervousness danced hand in hand within her. Should I respond? Lynn took a deep breath, leaning closer. Absolutely. What have you got to lose? In that moment, Jenna had a choice: to leap into the unknown or retreat back into her comfort zone. Clutching her phone tightly, she knew this could be the moment that changed everything. The pulse of adventure electrified the air as she tentatively typed back, her heart racing. Was this the next step in her journey, or just another fleeting moment of doubt? And with every word, she felt the weight of her dreams pushing her forward. What awaited behind that screen could reshape her reality forever. Jenna's fingers hovered over the screen as she crafted her reply. Should she reveal her excitement or play it cool? After a brief hesitation, she tapped out. Hi. Thank you so much. I'd love to chat. The moment she pressed send, her stomach flipped. Was she ready for whatever this encounter might bring? The seconds felt like hours as she and Lynn sat in a charged silence. Lynn leaned closer, her curiosity palpable. What are you thinking? I don't know. What if they're just some random troll looking to mess with me? Or worse, what if they don't really like me? What if it was just a one-time thing? Lynn rolled her eyes playfully, shaking her head. The way you lit up that stage, there's no way they weren't sincere. Just think, if they loved your performance, there's a reason.
You have talent, Jenna.
Believe it. The seriousness in her friend's tones stirred something deep in Jenna. Maybe it was time to let that spark of belief ignite a flame. Okay, so even if it's just a chat, what's the worst that could happen? The ding of her phone broke through her tangle of thoughts. A response flashed on the screen, and Jenna's heart pounded wildly as she read, Great. I'm a talent scout, and I'd love to discuss collaborating on your music. Wait, what? Jenna's face drained of color. A talent scout? This was huge. Are you serious? Lynn's eyes widened. That is epic. Do you know what this could mean for you? Panic bubbled up inside Jenna, even as hope flickered. What if I'm not ready? What if I mess it all up?
Stop. Breathe.
Lynn was all energy and urgency as she tried to catch Jenna's panic. You've worked so hard for this moment. You deserve it. Look, you're not alone in this. I know you'll do great. Just remember, it's okay to feel scared. Jenna took a deep breath, trying to gather her scattered nerves. She knew she had to reply.
Thank you.
I'd love to chat about this. When are you available? The cautious thrill in her voice made Lynn grin, her excitement infectious.
See?
You've already taken the first step. The conversation flowed smoothly after that. They set a time to meet, and Jenna started to feel a rush of adrenaline. But as they made a plan, Jenna's mind raced with the infinite possibilities intertwined with the potential for failure. Lynn, sensing her friend's hesitation, placed a hand on her shoulder. You can do this. Just be yourself. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow throughout the room, Jenna began to think about what a partnership could mean. Would this scout understand her music the way she felt it? What if they changed her sound or tried to mold her into something she wasn't? Hey, Lynn said, pulling Jenna from her thoughts. Whatever happens, remember why you sing. It comes from your heart.
Don't lose that.
Jenna nodded, feeling grateful for Lynn's unwavering support. There was still fear lurking behind her excitement, but she knew she had to push through it. Later that evening, Jenna sat alone, the house now quiet as night settled in. She picked up her guitar, fingers instinctively falling into familiar chords. With each strum, she lost herself in the music, feeling the joy and passion rush back. Maybe this encounter would lead to something wonderful. Maybe this was the turning point she needed. A soft tap came at the door, breaking her reverie. A voice called out, "Jenna, it's me, Lynn." "Oh, just a second." She scrambled to put down her guitar, but heart pounding, she hesitated. Was she ready to face the unknown once more? The door creaked open as she let Lynn in, her friend radiating excitement. "You won't believe who I just talked to." Jenna's heart raced again, with hope flickering anew and trepidation resting heavily on her chest. What news could possibly be waiting on the other side of the door?
Who?
Jenna asked, barely able to contain her curiosity as she motioned for Lynn to sit down. Lynn bounced on the balls of her feet, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Remember that music producer I told you about? The one who has worked with some big names? I just got off the phone with her." Jenna blinked, processing the information. "Wait, the producer? The one from that showcase?"
But how? Why?
She's looking to scout fresh talent, Jenna. She loves your style. I told her about you, and she wants to hear more of your music. Lynn's excitement was electric, jumping from one sentence to the next. Jenna's breath hitched. It was as if the walls of her small room began to close in, the reality of the moment pressing down on her. "This is a big deal." "Exactly. You need to take this chance," Lynn urged, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions swirling around them. Jenna closed her eyes, taking in a deep breath. She thought of the countless nights spent in her bedroom, strumming her guitar and pouring her heart into songs. But what if I'm not good enough? The doubt crept back in, hugging her like an unwelcome friend.
Stop it.
Lynn pointed at her friend, fierce determination etched on her face. "You shine on that stage, and you need to let them see that. This is your moment." Jenna couldn't shake the fear that whispered in her mind, taunting her with thoughts of failure. But what if she hears my songs, and they don't resonate? What if? Jenna, that's all possibilities. You're an artist, remember? Artists take risks, and they create beauty out of uncertainty, Lynn replied, her voice calming like a deep breath of fresh air. As the night deepened, Jenna felt herself wavering between hope and fear. Perhaps it was time to step out of her comfort zone. She picked up her guitar, her fingers remembering which strings to press. As she strummed the opening chords of her newest song, the melody wrapped around her, bringing comfort. Each note felt like bravery weaving through her veins. What if I can't do this? What if I trip over my own words? Jenna asked, her eyes locked onto the world outside the window, stars winking knowingly down at her. Then you trip, Lynn said with a grin, and you get back up, dust yourself off, and try again. The truth hung in the air. Failure was a part of every journey. Jenna had watched talents born and ruined by fear. But tonight, she felt something different. Tonight, she felt alive. She finished her song, the last note ringing in the air like a promise. Lynn clapped her hands, a huge smile stretching across her face.
See?
That was beautiful. You're ready. Just remember, they want to hear your voice, not something scripted or staged.
Be you.
Jenna nodded, warmth spreading through her chest. Maybe absurdly, the thought of sharing her music with the world didn't feel that far-fetched anymore. Okay, let us do this, Jenna finally said, determination lacing her tone.
Tell her I'm in.
Just like that? Lynn asked, surprised.
Yeah.
Let's see where it goes. As the night ebbed into morning, excitement began to pulse with each heartbeat. Jenna could envision herself there, in a studio, weaving her songs like threads into a tapestry. Just as her confidence began to settle, a thought lurked at the back of her mind. What if this opportunity thrust her into a world she wasn't ready for? She could feel her heart race at the prospect. Lynn noticed the change in her expression. What is happening inside that head of yours? Jenna turned to her friend, uncertainty mixing with a twinge of anticipation. I can't shake the feeling that this could change everything. What if it does? That's the point, right? Lynn laughed softly, but there was an edge to her excitement too. Things will change, and maybe those changes are exactly what you need. Jenna took a deep breath. You're right, I should embrace it. Yet, beneath the surface, the unease lingered. Was she really prepared for what was coming? Would she be the same Jenna after stepping into the spotlight? As dawn stole into the room, Jenna felt torn, a push and pull between the thrill of change and the comfort of the familiar. She wanted to leap but was afraid to fall. Just hold on tight, Lynn said, seeing through her. Whatever happens next, we'll get through it together. Jenna smiled, but deep inside, she couldn't help but wonder what this leap into the unknown would truly mean for her life. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, and Jenna felt her heart skip. It was a message from the talent scout. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Let us make magic. Magic. What did that even mean? Each step felt like a step toward destiny, but what kind of destiny awaited her? With uncertainty nestled in her chest, Jenna found herself staring at the screen, torn between excitement and doubt. What if magic was just a word for something she wasn't ready to discover yet? As she prepared to type her response, a familiar thought crept in. Was she strong enough to handle the journey ahead? Jenna's fingers hovered above her phone, the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Let us make magic, the message read, but it felt more like a challenge than an invitation. Her heart thundered in her chest, quickening with every tick of the clock. Lynn, sensing her hesitation, leaned in closer, her eyes searching Jenna's for reassurance. Are you going to reply? Lynn prompted, her voice laced with enthusiasm. Jenna swallowed hard. Yeah, I don't know what to say. The words tangled in her throat, and they suddenly felt inadequate. Here she was, on the brink of something potentially monumental, and yet the fear of failure loomed like a dark cloud. Just be yourself. That's all you need to do, Lynn encouraged, nudging her gently. You're a singer, not just a girl with a guitar. You've got this. Taking a deep breath, Jenna felt a flicker of resolve. She typed out a quick reply that felt as fragile as her courage. I'm excited to share my music. When do you want to meet? With a tap, she sent the message into the void, feeling both liberated and terrified. The seconds stretched into eternity as she awaited a response. The room was filled with her nervous energy, a mix of hope and dread.
See?
You did it, Lynn cheered, trying to lighten the mood. A notification pinged her phone, and Jenna lunged forward, practically choking on her breath as she opened the message. How about tomorrow at 3? I'll send you the address. She looked up at Lynn, disbelief etched on her face.
Tomorrow?
That's not a lot of time to prepare. Who needs preparation? You've been preparing for this for years, Lynn said, her eyes sparkling. Just be ready to show them the real you. But as the day wore on, anxiety crept in. The real Jenna felt overwhelmed by doubts. What if her songs didn't resonate? What if her hands trembled as she played? What if she choked in front of the producer? Hey, let us get out of here and clear your head, Lynn suggested, snapping Jenna out of her spiraling thoughts. They grabbed their jackets and headed into the crisp afternoon air. The streets felt alive with people bustling about, laughter ringing out like music itself. As they walked, Jenna tried to focus on the scenery. Kids played in the park while couples strolled hand in hand. The world seemed blissfully unaware of her impending nerves. But the sunlight bathed her in warmth, and little by little, the heaviness in her heart began to lift. "Look at that street musician." Lynn pointed excitedly. A young man played his guitar, serenading passers-by with genuine passion. Jenna felt the music reach out to her, stirring something deep inside. "Isn't he amazing?" Jenna asked, momentarily forgetting her own worries. "He is. And notice how scared he seems? It doesn't he matter. He is putting himself out there," Lynn said, her voice echoing with inspiration. It hit Jenna this man, vulnerable yet fearless, was living a truth that she longed to embrace herself. What was fear compared to the joy of creation? She felt the first real flicker of bravery inside her heart, a warmth that grew stronger with every sound. "I want that," Jenna said, her voice firm. "I want to put myself out there, even if it scares me." Lynn beamed at her. "That's the spirit. Let us harness it. Make a plan for your performance. What's the first song you want to play?" The gears in Jenna's mind started turning. "Maybe Unraveled, it's my most personal piece, and I think it showcases my voice best." "Then that's what you'll do. It's your first impression, and it's going to be unforgettable," Lynn responded, wrapping her arm around Jenna's shoulders as they continued walking. As they returned to Jenna's house, she felt a renewed sense of purpose, an electric buzz thrumming beneath her skin. The shadows of doubt were still lurking, but they no longer felt insurmountable. "Tomorrow, I'll show them who I really am," Jenna murmured, determination binding her thoughts. But just as she settled into the comfort of her resolution, a nagging thought took root. What if that wasn't enough? As she grabbed her guitar, the weight of the world fell. Silent around her, she strummed the chords of Unraveled, feeling each note take flight. But deep inside, the question lingered, would she be able to truly share her soul? What awaited her in that studio, and could she ever truly be ready? Jenna woke up the next morning to the sun pouring through her window like golden syrup. Today was the day where everything would change. She took a deep breath, feeling the weight of last night's emotions swirling inside her. The nerves were like butterflies in her stomach, flapping around with each thought of meeting the scout. After a quick shower, Jenna slipped into her favorite outfit, a pair of jeans that hugged her slightly imperfect figure and a soft, worn-out t-shirt. Looking in the mirror, she practiced her confident smile. "You got this, Jenna," she whispered, trying to silence the echoes of doubt still nagging at the back of her mind. With her guitar slung over her shoulder, she walked to the cafe where the meeting was set to take place. As she strolled down the familiar streets of Maplewood, the morning air felt fresh and invigorating. People bustled by her moms with strollers, kids on bicycles. And for the first time in a long time, she didn't feel invisible. The anticipation buzzed in the air around her. The laughter, the hum of voices, the warmth from the sun felt like kindling to her growing flame of courage. When she arrived, the quaint cafe was filled with soft chatter and the rich aroma of coffee. She spotted the scout at a corner table, her curly hair bouncing as she laughed with someone over a slice of cake. Jenna's heart raced as she approached, her confident facade wavering. This was it. "Hi, you must be Jenna," the scout exclaimed, standing up to greet her with a warm smile.
Em Lerete. Hi.
"Nice to meet you," Jenna replied, her voice slightly shaky. They shook hands, and Jenna felt a surge of warmth. Loretta's enthusiasm was contagious. "Your videos are impressive. I've been following your journey, and I'd love to hear more about your music," Loretta said, her eyes lighting up.
Really? Thank you.
Jenna couldn't help but beam. As they settled into their chairs, Jenna felt a weight lifting off her shoulders. "I've been writing songs for a while now and performing at small events, but I'm still figuring it all out." "That's exactly what I want to talk about. The journey is unique for everyone, Jenna," Loretta said, her voice steady and understanding. but you have something really special. Your voice, your lyrics, they resonate. Now, let us get you ready to share that on a bigger stage." Jenna felt the strands of fear woven through her anxiety begin to untangle. Loretta's words wrapped around her like a comforting blanket. They talked about her music concepts, inspirations, and hopes. Loretta listened actively, nodding and taking notes. With each sentence Jenna spoke, she felt her old insecurities gradually fade. After they wrapped up their conversation, Loretta leaned in. "So, about this performance, how do you feel about doing a showcase? An intimate concert where you present your music to the community?" Jenna's breath hitched. "But what if people don't like it? What if they laugh?" "No one is here to judge you, Jenna. They're here for the music," Loretta assured, a reassuring smile gracing her lips. "You have to trust yourself. Art connects us, even through the uncertainties." In that moment, Jenna experienced a transformation. The fear had shifted from a paralyzing weight to a challenge she was willing to embrace.
Okay.
"Let us do it."
Perfect.
Loretta clapped her hands together in delight. "We'll work together to create an unforgettable experience." When Jenna stepped outside that afternoon, she felt different. Lighter. The world around her continued to spin with its normal busyness, but for her, it felt like she was stepping into a vibrant kaleidoscope of new possibilities. As days passed, Jenna poured her heart into rehearsal. Each strum of the guitar united her past with her future. Word spread through the community about her showcase. The excitement was palpable. On the night of the show, Jenna stood behind the curtains, heart pounding like a drum. The cafe was filled with people, friends, family, and curious onlookers, all there to support her. She could hear them chatting, laughter spilling out, but mostly, she could feel the love radiating from their presence. As her name echoed through the crowd, Jenna stepped out onto the stage. The lights were bright, casting a warm glow over her. Time stood still as she took a moment to soak in everything, the cheers, the energy, the support enveloping her like a warm embrace. Taking a deep breath, she let the music flow, pouring her soul into each song. Each note resonated, connecting with the hearts in that room. She sang about her fears, her dreams, and the struggles that once bound her. With every lyric, she felt the shadows of her past colors fade, leaving room for vivid hues of hope and joy. When the final note lingered in the air, silence enveloped the room before erupting into applause. The sound washed over her, a wave of validation and love. Jenna's smile was radiant, tears of joy blinking away as the crowd cheered. She was no longer the ghost she once felt, like she was alive, seen, heard. That night, as she walked off the stage into a flurry of congratulatory hugs and cheers, she realized something monumental. She had discovered her voice, not just for herself, but for everyone who felt unheard. In this moment of triumph, she felt the barriers that once held her back crumbling away. What lay ahead felt unpredictable, but one thing was certain: Jenna was ready to embrace it all. And silently, she made a promise to keep sharing, to keep singing, and to inspire those who needed to find their own voices along the way. Now that Jenna had taken this leap, what will her journey become? You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support for Jenna's story. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and make sure more people witness transformations just like hers. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to hear about hope and strength. Don't wait not even one more second to share.